Welcome to today's information session on the Paso del Norte Health Foundation's request for proposals. My name is Bianca de Leon, and I'm a program officer here at the Health Foundation. I'm also joined today by Claudia Perez, program associate. Today, we will share a little about the Health Foundation, review general components of a standard proposal, walk you through the process for submitting an application via our online platform, and share some next steps if your proposal is approved. If possible, I would encourage you to have a copy of the RFP with you as you go through this video. So let's get started. The Paso del Norte Health Foundation has been in the region for 25 years. While some health priorities have evolved over time, our mission has stayed the same: to promote health and prevent disease. We are able to do this by leading, leveraging, and investing in a variety of strategic and well-planned programs and policies that contribute to better health outcomes for our community. We work with partners across the region in 6 counties, 3 states, and 2 countries, including Doña Ana, Otero, and Luna counties in New Mexico, El Paso and Hudspeth counties in Texas, and Ciudad Juarez, Chihuahua, Mexico. To accomplish our mission, our board of directors has selected 5 priority areas to focus our work. You can see each of the priority areas here. Within those priority areas are initiatives or special projects with strategic plans that include specific goals and objectives we are trying to accomplish. You can find each of the initiatives' strategic plan on our website at www.pdnhf.org. Your invitation to submit a full proposal falls under one of these initiatives. The most competitive proposals are not only well-planned, but are also aligned with their initiative's goals and objectives. You are also encouraged to talk with the program officer who oversees the priority area about your proposal before submission. Here is the contact information for each program officer. Please feel free to contact them at any time to discuss ideas related to your proposal. Typically, these are the components of a proposal. Applicants are encouraged to complete each of the sections of the proposal. Please use a legible font and include page numbers throughout. Now I'm going to review a few of the sections to give you an idea of what we would expect to see in your proposal. The narrative for the proposed project should have objectives for your program. The more competitive proposals include SMART objectives. If your proposal is approved, these objectives will be used during all the required reports you will submit later on. So the clearer and more specific your objectives are now, the easier it will be to write your progress reports later. For staffing, it's always helpful to see job descriptions for the positions that are part of the proposed program, along with resumes of current staff. Please make sure to plan for their availability in trainings and sharing sessions that might be offered through the initiative. If new positions are included for the proposed program, applicants are encouraged to describe the sustainability of these positions within the organization. Timelines are also helpful for the program officer and review team to understand when activities will take place or milestones will be achieved. If a new position is being proposed, be sure to include the time of hiring and training the position in the timeline. This means that the program may not be executed at the start of the grant if positions need to be hired, but all of that should be reflected in the timeline. If other resources are being leveraged for the proposed program, be sure to include them in the in-kind column of the budget. Sustainability plans are really helpful in casting a vision for the longevity of the program within the organization. In rare circumstances, a sustainability plan is not needed, and it's okay to acknowledge that in the proposal as well. If your proposed program includes partnerships with other organizations or schools, make sure to include letters of support from them. Letters that describe what the partner is contributing to the program, things like staff time or facilities or transportation, are more helpful than letters saying they think you're a great organization to partner with. And the last few items here are related to the budget. There is a budget template on our website under the Grant Center. You are welcome to use this, but it's not required. It will have some general categories, but those can be edited if they don't apply to your program. The budget narrative should be a detailed description of each line item on the budget. For example, if the budget shows a line item request for soccer balls at $500, the budget narrative would indicate how you reached the estimated amount of $500 and what the soccer balls are being used for. The most important thing here is that the budget and the budget narrative are aligned. Lastly, here are some other things to keep in mind as you develop your proposal. The RFP will contain most of the information you need, like the length of the grant cycle. We don't typically have any caps on the amount of funding that could be requested, but if it does exist, it would be stated in the RFP. We also conduct organizational assessments on applicants. It is our practice to conduct these every 3 years for existing grantees, or if you are a new applicant, you can expect that your program officer would schedule one of these shortly. Again, you're always encouraged to talk with the program officer who oversees the initiative, and they can clarify anything in the RFP. Now I'm going to turn this over to Claudia to walk you through the online submission process.
Thank you, Bianca. As Bianca mentioned, my name is Claudia Perez, and I am the Program Associate for the Health Foundation. If you are a first-time applicant, please use the same login information you used to submit the LOI. The applying or returning organization can find a link called the Grant Account Login under the Grant Center tab located on our website, www.pdnhf.org, to access the grant account for the organization. First-time and returning applicants can refer to this page at any time to log into their account, to apply for any open calls for LOIs or RFPs, review past submitted LOIs or proposals, or to continue working on any saved LOIs or proposals for future submissions. Also, we recognize the font on these screenshots is small and probably difficult to read, but rest assured, it doesn't look like this once you log in. This is just to get you familiar with the platform. For first-time applicants, please use the account you used to submit the LOI. We encourage organizations to have only one grant account for the entire organization. If you have been invited to the next phase of an LOI, please log in to view the RFP instructions. It's important to note that the individual who created the grant account for the organization and submitted the LOI will have access to the RFP instructions. Here you can see an example of what an RFP may look like. Each initiative will have a slightly different RFP. Applicants can use the tabs on the top of the page to move back and forth through the application as needed. Please take time to review the instructions on the RFP before proceeding to the next section. The contact information page is where applying organizations will be asked to include the primary and program contact. The primary contact is usually the executive director, CEO, or president for the organization, and the program contact is the program lead for the program and who program officers will contact in the future with any program-related questions should the proposal be approved. When the contact information is entered for the first time, the information is saved and automatically entered when applying for another open call for proposals or LOIs. Please make sure to confirm that the information is accurate and correct. If the information has changed, please make sure to make the necessary changes to keep the organization's information up to date. The request information page is where the information of the proposed program will be entered. The information we typically require is the proposed program title, grant start and end date, and the geographic area the proposed program is serving. If you plan to serve more than one geographic area, please check all that apply. Although no request amount is required for the LOI, the RFP process requires you to now enter that information. Please make sure to enter the request amount plus any in-kind amount and/or funding coming from other sources. It's important to note that the information provided in this section should match the budget and budget narrative. The program information page is where you will see the proposal guidelines. Again, each initiative will have slightly different proposal guidelines, but as Bianca mentioned, typically proposals include an executive summary and a narrative that describes your project's objectives, strategies, timeline, staffing, evaluation, and sustainability. You would upload that as a document here. Applicants will be asked to enter their executive summary not to exceed more than 600 words in the respective field. The project narrative I've described before should be uploaded as a single PDF document. Letters of support and the proposed budget and budget narrative are also part of the program information page. There are 2 uploads where letters of support can be uploaded. If you have more than 1 letter of support, please combine the letters and upload them as a single document. The proposed budget and budget narrative are 2 separate uploads. There is a sample proposed budget template that can be found on our website under the Grant Center tab in the Resources for Grant Applicants section that applicants can use. The budget narrative is a detailed explanation of the proposed budget and should explain each line item clearly. The organization information page is where applicant organizations will double check to make sure the information for the organization is correct. Please verify that the information entered in the fields and/or edit the information as needed. If the fields have been left blank, please enter the requested information. Applicant organizations are asked to submit supporting organization information as part of the proposal process. A cover letter from the organization's authorized representative clearly detailing the funding request is required. Additional documents, just to name a few, like the document of the proposing agency's non-for-profit status, a list of the current board of directors or other governing body, copy of the organization's annual report or description of grants received by the organization are also required. If organizations have applied within the last 12 months, please contact Claudia Perez or Juanita Galaviz to verify the need for resubmitting these documents. The additional organization information page is where we ask applicants to include additional information about the organization, like the annual budget and the fiscal start and end date. Please verify that the information entered is correct or edit as needed. On the same page, you will see an organization narrative response section. We ask a series of organizational self-assessment questions that the organization must answer. Please make sure to save the narrative in a PDF format and upload in the required section. And the last page of the application is where we ask the person who is authorized to submit the proposal on behalf of the organization to please enter their name and the date of the submission. The person who is submitting the application must be authorized to submit on behalf of the organization. We remind you to please make sure you click on the submit button at the end of the page to ensure that your application is submitted. An email confirming receipt of the application by the Health Foundation will be sent to the person completing the application. If you do not receive this email within 2 business days, please log back into your account to confirm you hit submit. If you are showing the application was submitted but did not receive a confirmation email from the Health Foundation, please contact Claudia or Juanita to ensure the proposal was received. Now I'm going to turn this back over to Bianca to finish our session for today.
Thank you, Claudia. We hope that process was helpful and you feel better prepared to navigate our online system. After your proposal is submitted, it can take anywhere from 6 to 8 weeks to hear about the status of your application. Sometimes the program officer will contact the applicant for more information. Recommendations will be presented to our board of directors for approval or declination. If your proposal is declined, you will receive a letter from us indicating the declination. If you would like more information about why your proposal was declined, please contact your program officer and they will be able to answer any questions. If your proposal is approved, the next thing that will happen is that you will receive a memorandum of agreement through DocuSign. This platform allows us to acquire electronic signatures and activate grants much more quickly. Once the MOA is signed, the grant becomes active. Generally, each program officer convenes a new cohort of grantees in an orientation session. During this session, we cover topics like reporting requirements, site visits, and other grantee expectations. Your program officers and support staff are always available to answer any questions you might have during and after the application process. If you have any trouble accessing the online grant application system, please contact Claudia or Nita. Their contact information is here. They can also confirm with you any supporting documents we might need. We hope this session has been helpful. Again, if there are any questions we can answer, please do let us know. Thank you for joining us today and good luck with your application.